Welcome to the Grapevine Brothers, sisters. How y'all been?
Mothers and sons
And
your dog.
aunts.
Your dog can watch.
Your dog. You might get that Chihuahua up there. He might want to watch it now. Go.
Let's call him the dog.
Come here. Come on.
Woo, get on up here, Skippy, Lassie, whatever.
Come on, Revolver.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we didn't do a video technically last week.
We did not.
It's okay though.
If you're in our area, you're feeling this heat. Oh my goodness. I mean, we had, okay, before we got the heat though, Friday, we had a flood. And I don't know if the Lord's compensating out here. He's trying to dry out that water.
Sorry, I'll dial it back.
It's like, I'll dial it back. Well, just that was happy medium, brother. Man, I tell you what, I'm feeling that summer heat. Oh my goodness.
Sure.
I don't know if it's not even technically summer yet, is it?
I mean, June.
It's like,
we're in June.
Woo! I'm feeling that June heat. I thought it was
summer
July though.
It's summer enough for me.
Oh goodness. Let's see. In Fort Smith, it was 112.
What?
Saturday.
I didn't get near that hot here.
Oh, it
94.
Woo!
Maybe 100 with the index, but
Brother.
it's here now. It's here, brother.
It is
Summer's
here.
You know
And
what,
it's here to
you know
stay
what
for a
cools
little
me off?
Brother,
The
tell me
word of the Lord.
Woo! Yeah, brother. That cools me off real well. And sometimes it hurts my toes, though. I will tell
It
you.
does hurt your toes.
There's
brother.
some
You just
parts-
get all heated all over.
Yeah. There's some.
I was
parts that-
telling Wesley just now that what was I just telling you?
The strong concordance. No,
We got some good notes here,
brothers. We got some awesome notes. Actually, you've got some awesome notes.
Brother.
I'm excited for this.
Your input.
Brother, it's good enough.
It's good enough, brother.
Well, being spirit-filled, spirit-led, not like leadered. Being spirit-led, you just got to just go with it, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, for sure.
hopefully that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
And I believe we truly are. So, and you want to have the Spirit with you when you're reading your Bible, because it gets so difficult. I tell you what, when you try to go off on your own, like, oh, he
Just
means
like the prodigal child, brother.
you get lost when you try to go on by yourself. But I was saying, it's like if you try to read the Bible without, no
Any kind of
understanding,
direction.
any direction, yeah, it's like he must be talking about get off the.
That's why you should go to church.
Talk.
All right. Sorry.
Well,
I got a little 60s, like,
oh yeah,
turning.
Fire, brimstone type of-
burn. Yeah, fire and brimstone.
turn and burn.
Excuse me, brothers and sisters.
Whoa,
I don't mean to offend. I don't mean to offend, brother.
No need to offend.
But if something,
No offense
if
needed,
something ain't sitting right in my spirit,
brother.
I'm gonna call it out.
Call it out.
I'm gonna call.
Put it in front right now.
Just lay it out there, brother.
Well, speaking of laying it out there, we're just jumping right on into the
Right
Bible.
Into
Mark.
it, brother. You know, when I go to a pool, you know what I do?
What do you do?
I jump in head first. brother.
Head first, brother. Now, if you don't
Well, I
jump
may
in,
not jump in head first, but I do jump in.
you do jump in.
I don't walk in.
I don't try to dive when it says no dive.
I go fully. Oh, I dive in 3
Oh,
feet.
for real?
I can dive in 3 feet, brother.
Really?
You just don't go straight down.
Well, if you go straight
You
down,
gotta go playing with the water.
that hurts you now.
See now?
I go playing with the water, but that hurt my belly. Something about a belly fly.
You gotta shoot off in the.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of an angle.
Did I tell you I went slip and sliding the other day?
No.
And it was at the school, and I was running about to slide, and then I looked up and my ball. We were playing slip and slide like kickball.
Yeah, I've done that.
My ball, it like went in the
Terrifying.
tree. Yeah, it is terrifying. It went in the tree, and I was like, man, I guess I better stop. So I stopped, and I was about to turn around, and then the ball landed in the end zone, like in our playing zone.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, everybody's yelling, slide.
Keep running.
I jumped. I jumped forward. Now, if you don't know, I'm a big boy, and I had no momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So I just belly flopped.
Oof.
Oh my God, brother! I lost my breath.
That's why I was scared playing, because I'm like, I gotta ease into that.
Oh, I did not ease into it, brother. I was for 3 rounds. I was over there sucking the air, trying to fill my lungs again.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of filling our lungs,
Brother, let's fill our lungs with the spirit.
fill our lungs with the Spirit.
Oh,
Now.
I know what I was going to say a minute ago about the church thing.
Let's come back.
Serious. Y'all should go to a church. Find you a good church nearby. Someone who's Bible believing, Bible preaching. Sorry, my hair is being annoying.
It's okay. So is the.
But you started talking about not knowing where to go with the Bible, and sometimes we can get to those parts where we're just like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but sometimes we kind of glaze over something because we're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to sit here and guess, but find you someone who's knowledgeable about the Bible. Me, I just love to read it. I'm going through the Old Testament, and there's some crazy stuff.
They were a little wild in the Old Testament.
I'm just kind of getting through it right now,
brother,
just to read it because there's stories I've never heard in there.
Oh, they don't tell. This is the. I think our next, like when we get to the Old Testament, we need to call it like stories unfolded or untold.
I don't think we're doing the Old
Testament. No, Old Testament get a little wild.
Just some stuff in there.
There's like some crazy stuff.
Y'all go study the Old Testament. It's good. It's good. It's very good.
If you study it, bring your popcorn because it gets wild.
Yeah, extra butter,
brother.
You're gonna need it. Woo! All right, let's jump into it. I'll start us off here. So,
okay.
You know what? We already did.
I think we did 6. Yeah,
I knew it.
You are.
We already did chapter 6. So because we did last week, we did 4 chapters for some reason. The week before,
I think we just
because we did like 2 and 3, 4. And then we were like, let's do 4, 5, and 6.
We were just feeling spirit led and spirit filled. That's what it was.
So we are on Mark 7, 8, and 9. Chapter 7, chapter 8, and chapter 9.
Thank you for this Bible, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he actually got me this version. Alex, you the man.
My wife got him.
Oh,
she's a real one.
Well, thank your wife for me. But yeah,
she got him at Mardell's, the Christian bookstore. So
okay,
super cool. So these books you can read like over here, and then on this part over here you can write notes.
You got notes right there. I don't have notes.
Yeah,
but you can put
weird on here.
Put notes on it. Yeah,
and I'm going to give you all a sneak peek. I'm about to tell you all this stuff.
We're going to jump right on into it now.
All right, chapter 7. Now, when the Pharisees, dadgummit, brother.
Don't get me started on them Pharisees.
I ain't even going to start on
every time, don't, without fail. Them Pharisees up on Jesus' business going, hey, now there, brother, what are you doing, huh?
What's going on? We smell heresy.
We smell heresy.
Now when the Pharisees gathered to him with some of the scribes who had come from Jerusalem, they saw that some of his disciples ate with hands that were defiled, that is, unwashed. Brother, y'all ever heard of unwashed?
Unwashed hands.
Washing the dishes.
Brother.
Putting the clothes in
That's
the
like
washer.
A felony today.
Or putting the clothes in the wash.
Oh, yeah.
The dishwasher.
The dishwasher.
I don't think everybody says wash.
Brother, I need to go clean my dishwasher.
You eat steak with Worcestershire sauce?
Worcestershire sauce? Oh, I ain't had that.
Say that 3 times in a row, blindfolded upside down on your head in a tree, brother.
Brother, you got in a tree. I probably won't get that far now.
I used to climb some trees.
You climbed some trees?
Sure.
I think I climbed trees when I was little. That was when I was.
Yeah. It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
I'd probably still get up in a tree.
I could probably hug a tree.
That had the OSHA rated
ladder
limb strength.
Limb strength.
The capacity, brother. You got to watch out.
I got to watch out for the capacity now.
Fun fact for you.
Oh, fun fact.
This might actually be a dangerous.
Fun fact.
So whenever you see a rating on like an elevator or a ladder, some kind of OSHA rating, it's actually lower than what it's really rated for. So people don't push the limit. So it's like 3,000 pounds. It's actually going to be like 3,500 pounds. Don't quote me on the range, but
I think they do the same thing at roller coasters. Rated
like,
for, well, you know how it says, was it max weight 400 or 300 pounds?
Probably.
I guess I'll test it out this weekend. Yeah. We'll go find out.
I learned that in school.
Oh, really? You learned that in school? I mean, surely it's got to be true.
Yeah. So.
Well, let's jump right back into it.
So they saw that some of his disciples, talking about Jesus' disciples, they were eating with their hands that were defiled, that is unwashed. For the Pharisees and all the Jews do not eat unless they wash their hands properly, holding to the tradition of the elders. And when they come from the I don't even know.
The micro plates.
I don't even know what I started saying there.
They come from the micro. This must be some future.
They came out of the microwave or something.
When they came out the microwave, they was a little bit soggy, so they switched to the air fryer.
You got to wash your hands when you deal with the microwave.
Brother, you do. Got to wash. This COVID climate, brother, you got to keep everything clean.
Heck.
Even your toes clean.
Yeah.
Brother, I think
toes in the microwave.
They might have done that.
To
manage the germs.
Yeah, the waves.
The microwave pushed the germs off.
Yeah. Get out my feet. Anyways, they come from the marketplace,
brother. You're on that microwave.
The book of Mark. market.
Oh, that's what it is.
Hey, a little wordplay. They do not eat unless they wash.
Mm.
So that sounds kind of noble.
Yeah.
Good for you, Pharisees.
Well, hang on tight, brothers and sisters. Hold on.
All right, hang on.
Get your belt buckled in, brother.
Let's get that back a little bit. So I can get
my whole head in here, brothers.
Woo! I'm just kidding. All right.
Yes, sir.
And there are many other traditions that they observe,
Ooh,
such as the washing of cups and pots and copper and vessels and dining couches, whatever that means. And the Pharisees and the scribes asked him, "Why do your disciples not walk according to the tradition of the elders, but eat with defiled hands?"
Brother, I didn't have my soap.
He said to them,
"Oh, Jesus coming
He's
back.
about to roast. Woo!
Jesus coming in
I
hot.
smell roast." All right. Well,
That's steak.
what Jesus
It
said.
might have been steak.
I mean, beef roast.
Yeah,
Steak. Yeah, same thing.
but Jesus coming in hot though with it though.
You can smell it sizzling.
I can smell it. What was
So
Jesus saying?
said to them, "Well, did Isaiah prophesy of you hypocrites, as it is written? This people honors me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. In vain do they worship me, teaching as doctrines the commandments of men."
Brother.
The Pharisees are more concerned with carrying out their tradition rather than actually being worried about having clean hands. They weren't worried about that.
No.
They were like, "Oh, don't y'all know COVID's going around, brother?"
Yeah. Brother, you need to put that mask on. Don't forget.
Ma'am.
Let's not get into that.
Sorry.
They are trying to call out the disciples. This is why Jesus is saying that they are worshiping in vain. In vain do they worship me. That's from Isaiah. Like, he's always spitting. I think he does that because he's like, you guys should know this already.
What he's doing is he's saying he's fighting fire with fire right there.
Yeah.
Or you better not wash your hands, or you better wash your hands.
And like we said before, he always knows the crowd that he's speaking to.
Yeah.
So the people that should know are the Pharisees because they're all high and mighty about their doctrines and
Right.
But they get
pick
too
and choose.
focused. Yeah.
Yeah.
They get too focused on the law of Moses though. They're super like, we gotta live by the law and die by the law.
But by the law, die by the law. There's not that law.
And okay, so then he goes on to say, this is really good. You leave the commandment of God and hold to the tradition of men. And he said to them, bro, my Jesus went in on this next part. He said to them, you have a fine way of rejecting the commandment of God in order to establish your tradition. So he goes on to say, you not only, you reject God in order to carry out or hold on to your tradition.
Oh.
All for the sake of tradition.
Tradition, yeah.
Hey, let me read that again. Let me read it again, brother.
Brother, their heart's not in the right place, is what he's saying.
Yeah. You have a fine way of rejecting the commandment of God in order to establish your tradition.
Brother, if I'm about
Get wrecked, boy.
He's over here. Look, what you're doing, you're trying to do it man-made, man-pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not made right here in the heart of man, then it ain't right. That's, today's culture.
God, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Today's culture, we feel this.
Our hearts can become wicked.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and we try to run to that, oh, well, he's got to wear this. He's got to do this.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you got to say this prayer to be saved.
Right.
And we forget.
We get traditional.
Yeah, we get so traditional, but we forget that.
We got to break the bonds of tradition, brother.
And part of that is going with their word.
Mm.
And when we do that, we find that God is in the middle of it. The middle of the word.
Yeah.
And then we can start breaking tradition.
Over here.
No.
He's like, I got you. I see you. He's like, boom. He's right there in the midst of it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's carry on.
Yes.
All right. For Moses said, honor your father and mother, and whoever reviles father or mother must surely die. But you say, if a man tells his father or mother, whatever you would have gained from me is Corban, that is given to God. Then you no longer permit him to do anything for his father or mother, thus making void the word of God by your tradition that you have handed down. In many such things you do. So this is generational, like
this is not like
disobedience, lack of vision. I mean, their hearts are wicked.
Yeah, this isn't like a overnight ordeal. This has been a continuous type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't just come up with this going into their own generation. It's something
No.
they're so adamant about it that they pass it down to their family,
Their kids,
Their
and their
family
kids'
online.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and your children, and your children.
Brother, don't get me started on that song.
Brother,
Woo! Let's seek the face.
It's such a good song.
Not my face.
I like that song because when
I
I
really
first
do.
heard it, I was like, that part gets a little like they say it over and over again.
Yeah.
But I feel like that I listened to it again, and we do it at our church. Saying that, like speaking it in song form,
It kinda-
sing song.
Yeah.
That's a movie reference.
Oh, is it now?
Kind of. If y'all catch that, put it in the comments. All right.
Boom. Set it there. You just did the go poke signal.
It did?
Yeah, go pokes.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, before I forget, I'm about to forget. Oh, the song and their children. It says it like 3 times. It's speaking generationally.
Oh, yeah.
So like your children are going to have children.
And
their
their
children are
children.
going to have children.
And their children.
And their children. Dude, it's so good.
I really enjoy that song.
I'm like, just keep on singing it. And
Brother,
their
I had
children.
I had that on
Their
repeat the other day.
children's children. Your
Just
children's
bless 'em.
children. Children's dog, brother.
Brother, I don't know. The dog gets in on that one. Just the children.
Probably not.
No,
But there's probably a dog there.
maybe.
It's the children.
Well,
You know something funny I heard on a
What?
show I listened to?
dogs are going to heaven?
No.
Oh.
It's I don't know.
Maybe.
Y'all, we might do a video on that one.
Lord, take care of me.
No, I listened to this
Mm.
Christian radio station, and one guy on one of the shows said God doesn't have grandchildren. Basically meaning everybody has to become a believer for themselves. And so you're either a son or a daughter or you're not.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's grandfathered in, basically.
Yeah. I was like,
my faith doesn't necessarily like cover you.
yeah.
You have to believe for yourself. So
Absolutely.
it's funny when he says that.
No, it's true, though.
So God doesn't have any grandchildren.
I can't believe for you.
Yeah.
What is that? You can take the horse, brother, down to the water,
But you can't make him eat it.
but you can't make.
I mean, drink it.
I don't think it was eat it down.
No, it's
you can't.
chunky water, brother. That's why he doesn't
He
want
got
to eat
that
it.
Jello. That might be what it is.
It's swamp water. That's why he won't eat it.
That's probably got a bunch of pesticides. No, not pesticides, germs in it.
Germicides, brother.
Germicides.
Ooh. Yeah, you're right. You can't make him drink it.
Mm-hmm. That's
Right.
right.
Lead him to it.
But you can't make them drink it.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how many bows you put on top of it. No matter how many things you try to do with it. You try
Try
to
to sweeten it with honey.
sweeten it. Maybe.
I might drink it at that point.
I mean, at that point, put a little lemon in there. A little lemon water.
a little
Lemonade.
ice, a little tea bag.
A little tea on a hot day. Brother, with some ice. It don't matter. You can do as much as you think, but if he don't drink from it, it don't suffice her.
Yeah. Something I kind of say too. This is kind of a goofy thing I came up with, or something maybe I heard or something. I don't know. But is if you have, speaking of something to drink, if you have a drink and you go on and on about it, about how good it is, what it tastes like, what it makes you feel when you drink it, how awesome it is, and you tell your friend, let's say I'm telling you about it, and you're like, oh, cool. And you might know everything there is to know about it except how it tastes until you drink it. So drink it. So when it comes to Jesus, something I say all the time is get to know Jesus for yourself. Come to know the Father for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
It's so much better. Read the Word for yourself. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy.
Yeah. How many people
Such good stuff.
relying on just what they've been taught in church?
It's and I've been known to do that like for so many years. I'm 25. I'm in my 20s, and here I am finally just kind of reading the Word for myself. In the last couple of years or so,
Yeah.
I started going to this men's group whenever I first moved to Okmulgee, in Oklahoma. And the stuff they were studying there just made me want to get more into the Word. And I even got
Made you word hungry.
yes.
Mm.
And they would go into the derivatives or the roots of words, being Greek or Hebrew or Aramaic, and it makes the word pop. So like the word faith, the word faith can also be translated into the word trust. So this is something I actually just blogged about pretty recently.
Oh, brother.
And we'll move on pretty quick, but the word faith, I feel like, has been diluted down to this blind belief that we have to have as a Christian.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Belief and hope and trust all go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And I mentioned something in that post that I put on there. It's on our website, thegrapevine88.com.
Hey, what a plug! You actually plugged it this time.
No, something I mentioned in there is, so the first time you believe in Jesus, is kind of a leap of faith. It's not. I wouldn't say it's blind faith. I think that kind of has a
negative connotation.
Yeah, for sure. And so the first time you believe might be that leap of faith, but the next time it's trust because he comes through.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
All right. Why don't you pick up on this next part? I like this next part.
All right. Brother, where we at on this next part?
Verse 14.
All right, 14. And he called the people to him again.
Come here.
And said to them, hear me, all of you.
Listen up.
And understand.
Get this, brother.
This is nothing outside a person that by going into him can defile him.
Let's eat cake is what he's saying.
Bro.
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I added that part.
But the things that could come out of a person are what defile him.
What?
Yes, sir. That's right.
This has to do with the heart.
Brother, garbage in, garbage out. We talk about this all the time now. I'll continue on. And he said to them, woo! Give me a second. I didn't. Oh, 17.
17 yeah.
And when he had entered the house and left the people, his disciples asked him about the parable. And he said to them, now, brother, we just talked about a second ago. This is time, period, place. Yeah. You know, he spoke to the people about he knew who he spoke to. So he spoke to them in a way they'd understand.
Yeah.
And now he's telling the disciples something that we can understand.
Yeah, because the disciples are like, Jesus is like, nothing can defile a person. They're like, yeah, get him, Jesus. And then they go off and they're like, what did that mean?
What was that again?
So we can know for later. I mean,
that we could put it in the book.
Like, fine, I'll tell you.
Well, since you asked. Well, since we asked. And he said to them, then do you also understand? You do not see whatever goes into a person from outside cannot defile him, since it enters not his heart, but his stomach, and is expelled. Thus he declared all foods clean.
Boom! Talking ribs, steak,
brother, chicken,
pork,
boy, that's
bacon.
You know what I'm gonna do with that pork?
Eat it.
Barbecue sauce on that pork, brother.
Mild.
He's saying, look,
maybe a little hot sauce.
Maybe a little hot sauce.
Sure.
I mean,
Dad's flavor, man. Daddy B's downstairs. Shout out to Daddy B's.
Daddy B's be hitting up.
Oh, their hot sauce is good.
Honestly, it is. Yeah. It really is.
It adds flavor, like we were just talking about earlier.
Yeah, and
so good.
Thank
you, Jesus, for making all foods clean.
Yes, and not only that, but letting it be known. Because I could have read that and been like, "Ooh, I don't know." Made order, make sure all food's clean, brother. Verse 28. My bad, 20. And he said, what comes out of a person is what defiles him.
Boom.
Verse 21. For from within, out of the heart of man, comes evil thoughts, sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, coveting, wickedness. Oh, my bad. Coveting, wickedness, deceit, sensuality, envy.
I want that.
Slander. I don't like you. Sorry, I got excited. I mean, pride. Ooh, that one.
Brother, I'm so good.
Brother, I'm not going to lie. That hurts sometimes, too.
Well, I like how the next word is foolishness. Because pride comes before the fall, and you realize how much a fool you've been. Woo! Sucker! I didn't even have that written down.
That's fact, though. Foolishness. Verse 23.
Get me going.
All these evil things.
No, read that word.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, my bad. I was already on 24. I just want to see how you pronounce it.
All these evil things come from within, and they defile a person.
All right, so let's break down what he's saying here. Stuff that you eat. Jesus is like getting scientific right here.
Dude, he is like,
what you eat
is what you become.
What passes on through the body.
And you digest it.
Yeah, he says what goes in the stomach isn't what defiles somebody, because that's going to go away.
That leaves.
Yeah.
But it's what goes in the arteries, brother.
It's what goes in your heart.
In the heart. Yeah.
Because he says, from within, out of the heart of man come evil thoughts. And then he lists all of them.
And then he keeps on adding to it.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, Jesus.
Come on, chill, Jesus.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
we're talking
my
about stepping on toes, boy.
Brother, my toes hurt a little bit. Jesus, you
I'm
got
not even wearing shoes.
You might
Not
need
even wearing sandals.
you need to get some steel toes. Jesus over here starting stomping.
Brother.
But for sure.
Okay, now we're in verse 24.
24.
How do you say that word?
We're about to find out. Which one? That one right there?
Mm-hmm.
The Syro-Physician, woman's faith. I don't know.
No, either. I'd say like Syro-Phoenician.
There's an I and a C in there.
There's definitely some letters there, brother. Well, if you think of the word Phoenix, Phoenician. Nah, it's probably Phoenician. I don't know. Who knows?
Syro-Phoenician.
I just wanted to see what you'd say.
Woman's faith. Verse 24.
This is actually a little more context. Like, we already know about this woman.
Yeah. We were talked about this in the Matthew, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't list that she's whatever that is, Syro-Phoenician.
Yeah.
I don't think it does. Anyway, it's just kind of cool. Like, we always make the point of Mark and Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John always writing they're writing 4 different viewpoints of the same gospel.
Yeah, so it's more of a detailed account when you go, well, this isn't much detailed, but he does detail maybe the first part of it. And Mark's like, yo, but I know you caught that, but here's what I saw.
Yeah. And they didn't collaborate on what they were writing because someone could easily say, because these weren't written until
these were years later, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This is like events that they remembered afterwards.
Yeah. I don't remember the whole timeline, but yeah, some of them, they were all written though, I think within.
Was it after Jesus?
It's after Jesus.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you think about it, they probably didn't have time to sit down. Maybe they were taking notes. But,
they might have been taking notes. Or,
Jesus is like.
Or maybe they just talking to somebody that was there,
Yeah.
If I talked to you about, I don't know, something that happened maybe at church or something, you'd be like, oh, well, Wesley, this happened. I'm like, oh, yeah. And then this and this happened.
Word of mouth was a big deal back then. Storytelling was bigger.
Yeah.
So.
But then they actually got it written down, and I bet that was like, you probably told the same story over and over and over again. So you're pretty darn, you got the details in order and everything.
Yeah.
But continuing on, verse 24. And from there he arose and went away to the region of, what was that, Tyre?
Tyre and Sidon?
Tyre and Sidon. Tyre and Sidon.
I've heard some people say Tyre.
Tyre? Tyre sounds pretty sweet. Tyre and Sidon. And he entered a house and did not want anyone to know. Yet he could not be hidden. Of course, you can't be hidden, Jesus. We know you.
Yeah.
You're a miracle worker.
Trying to get a break or something.
Oh, no, Jesus, you ain't getting none of that. Verse 25. But immediately a woman whose little daughter had an unclean spirit heard of him. It came and fell down at his feet. Now the woman was a Gentile, a Syro-Phoenician by birth. And she begged him to cast the demon out of her daughter. And he said to her, let the children be fed first. For it is not right to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs. But she answered, yes, Lord. Yet even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs. And he said to her, for this statement, you may go your way. The demon has left your daughter. And she went home and found the child lying in bed and the demon gone.
So he didn't even ever meet the daughter.
No.
He's like, yeah, they're demon.
He said, go home. Ain't demon going to be there. But notice what he said. He said, now I talked to Joe about this at the guy with Chi-Alpha.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did we talk about this? Were you in that conversation?
I don't know.
Okay, so.
Brother, I feel like it bears repeating though.
Brother, we talked about how even though at this time, Jesus is saying, talking about the dog, and she was just wanting some of the scraps. So Jesus was healing people and casting out demons, and he's doing this these works with large crowds, and he's got a specific goal in mind to change the lives of the people of where he's at and location. Yeah. Well, now Jesus is kicked back. He's over here trying to not necessarily hide, but he's taking a rest day basically.
Yeah.
And the woman's coming on his day of rest, and hey, gee, I want a miracle. I need this miracle. And she's like, I just need it. And Jesus, what did he say? He said, but she answered, or no, Jesus, he said to her, let the children be fed first. So he's talking about the children of Israel? It wasn't.
I believe so.
Yeah. Let the children be fed first. So he's talking about, he's doing the miracles for them first. For it is not right to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs. So just throw it to people who aren't going to be able to not necessarily understand, but basically take it and understand the miracle of Jesus and what he's doing.
Yeah.
But not only that, but she says, and he said to her, for this statement, you may go the way. The demon has left your daughter. So, what was it? 28. But she answered him, yes, Lord, yet even dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs. So even the people that aren't necessarily Jesus's target are still going to reap his...
well, and we talked about this before, too. I think he's testing her. Because she could have easily been like, well... and just like walked away and be like, well, he called me a dog. She's there for a bigger reason.
Yeah.
She's there for her daughter. And so she doesn't just take that offensively. And I don't think Jesus was trying to offend her at all.
No.
Like you said, he's there for
he's got a certain mission that he's trying to accomplish.
So she's like, yes, but even
the dogs get the strap.
The scraps at the table.
Hopefully back straps.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's clean, brother.
Brother, it's clean. I got clean hands. Oh, wait. Whoa, they're unclean.
Whoa.
Well, continue on, verse 31. This is Mark 7, verse 31. Then he returned from the region of Tyre and went through, what was it, Sidon, to the Sea of Galilee and the region of Decapolis. And they brought to him a man who was deaf and had a speech impediment, and they began to lay his hand on him. And taking him aside from the crowd privately, he put his fingers in his ears, and after spitting, touched his tongue, and looked up to heaven. He sighed and said to him, brother, I don't know, you might have to pronounce that. Ephphatha.
I feel like it'd be Ephatha.
That is,
be open.
Be open, brother. Be open. Jesus said, be open. Know the context. He was giving the sight to the blind man, right? Or my bad, healing the deaf man.
Yeah.
And his ears were opened. His tongue was released, and he spoke plainly. So it sounds like a deaf mute man.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people that are, especially born deaf, have a speech impediment.
Oh,
they've never heard what they sound like.
Yeah.
So
they just kind of go off vibrations without being able to hear.
And you could teach someone how to speak, like literally like guiding where their mouth can go. They can learn to speak.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, obviously it's hard.
Definitely difficult.
I don't know if you've ever heard somebody who's deaf speak, but
I mean, actually, I think I have. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe he was mute. Does it say? No, it says he has a speech impediment.
It just says he has a speech impediment.
So yeah, probably he's deaf, so he's never heard himself speak. So naturally, he's got that speech impediment.
Yeah.
So he not only heals his hearing, he's like, he also speak plainly too.
Speech. Yeah, that's amazing.
It's awesome.
And his ears were opened, and his tongue was released, and he spoke plainly. Verse 36, and Jesus charged them to tell no one, but the more he charged them, the more zealously they proclaimed it. And they were astonished beyond measure, saying, he has done all things well. He even makes the deaf hear. Brother, what did I say?
And the mute.
And the mute speak. That is amazing. Well, brother, we're into chapter 8 of Mark. Would you like to hit it on?
Let's check our time here. Yeah.
We're doing good. Oh, we're doing all right.
Okay. In those days, when again a great crowd had gathered, and they had nothing to eat, he called his disciples to him and said to them, I have compassion on the crowd, because they have been with me now 3 days and have nothing to eat. And if I send them away hungry to their homes, they will faint on the way.
I would too.
Some of them have come from far away. And his disciples answered him, how can one feed these people with bread here in this desolate place? And he asked them, "How many loaves do you have?" They said, 7. And he directed the crowd to sit down on the ground. And he took the 7 loaves, and having given thanks, he broke them and gave them to the disciples to set before the people. And they set them before the crowd. And they had a few small fish. And having blessed them, he said that these also should be set before them. And they ate and were satisfied. Yeah. And they took up the broken pieces left over, 7 baskets full.
7 basketfuls.
They started with 7 loaves.
Brother, he started with 7 loaves, and now he's got 7 basketfuls.
This is also one of those occasions where I learned that. So Jesus feeds the multitude. We all know that.
Yeah.
He does it twice. Because this story is Jesus feeding the 4,000. I'm like, wait, he fed 5,000.
Yeah.
He did. He did it twice. I never knew that before until like on the last couple of years.
So you're telling me
and
that if I'm ever hungry, I come to Jesus spiritually, I can get fed through him.
Yeah.
But not only that, but I might need to start taking these Chinese places or steak places. Like, Jesus, I need the steak to be multitude.
He may not do it because
the
Lord knows what we need.
Lord knows what we need, and he does what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if I need that steak, he will provide. Brother, but I don't need that steak. You know how it is.
Yeah.
I'm healthy. I'm a big boy. He knows what I need.
Okay. So they had 7 baskets full left over.
That is so amazing. Yeah.
And there were about 4,000 people, and he sent them away. And immediately he got into the boat with his disciples and went to the district of Dalmanutha.
Good old Dalmanutha.
Here come the Pharisees, brother.
Brother, you know them Pharisees always after Jesus.
The Pharisees came and began to argue with him, seeking from him a sign from heaven to test him. Don't test the Lord.
I think we probably read about many occasions where they're testing the Lord all the time.
Let's see what he says.
Oh, let's see it.
And he sighed deeply in his spirit and said, kind of like we just did. We just went.
I think we might have just been repeating without even looking.
He says, why does this generation seek a sign? Truly, I say to you, no sign will be given to this generation. And he left them, got into the boat again, and went to the other side. He's like, I'm going over here.
You don't even deserve a sign, brother.
I think, and if he was, well, let's think about it this way.
Yeah.
I think I may even wrote this. Yeah, these Pharisees have a see it to believe it kind of attitude.
Oh.
And I think people that have that are always going to want the next sign. Well,
they always want
Lord, if you could just turn the earth the other way on its axis.
It starts turning.
Bruh, that's...
Lord, if you could just...
Obviously, the Lord, I think, could do that. But
but...
Nothing's going to make him believe. I think there's going to be unbelievers the time when Jesus comes back.
Oh, yeah.
During the rapture. They're going to think up something.
What was it? That song, that metal song. We went to that metal concert now. Christian metal. And one of her songs was, You Can't Convince a Skeptic.
Yeah, yeah.
And for sure.
I mean, going to be skeptical. Now, I don't think we shouldn't be skeptical about some things.
Right. I think that's what Roses is Christians.
You can be at a point where you don't doubt the Lord. Where, like I said, you have that faith, that trust. Not just blind, I'm going to believe it because I have to.
But it's because you've seen things in your life.
Yeah.
And you'll be probably more open to understand, well, that probably is no longer a coincidence. You're over here thinking, that might be a God wins. You know what I'm saying? It's not a coincidence that the Lord wins.
Yeah, so I just kind of wrote too. I think Jesus has done plenty to prove himself. Not that he has to, but the Pharisees aren't looking for truth. They're not really looking for truth.
No.
Like, if the Pharisees, it seems like they always just kind of wander off. Like,
they wander off into their own little
thing. Right, because Jesus, he'll talk to them, they run off, and then Jesus does some miracles. Like, they don't stick around for the miracles.
No.
If y'all would just wait, you would see the signs.
Well, even, we just talked about it. Even if they did see the signs, I feel like they'd be going,
oh, yeah.
Oh, well, you must have been doing that with the devil, which they said that later on.
They did actually say that. Yeah.
Well, the devil's the one who cast out demons.
And what does Jesus say?
He says, a house divided cannot stand, basically.
Yeah. He's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Why would I cast out my own people?
Yeah. Or why would Satan do that against himself?
Why would Satan cast out Satan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like you said, a house divided can't stand. So he sighed deeply. Yeah, so he's like, I'm not giving you a sign. I'm leaving.
Peace.
Now they had forgotten to bring bread, and they had telling me they had 7 baskets full.
And you didn't.
They probably sent it home with the people.
Yeah.
Y'all can have the leftovers. All right.
Yeah, that's kind of like church home Wednesday. Y'all can have the enchiladas.
Yeah. Take this food home. Take it home.
Yes.
They had only 1 loaf with them in the boat. And he cautioned them, saying, "Watch out. Beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the leaven of Herod." And they began discussing with one another the fact that they had no bread.
No
Jesus,
bread?
And Jesus, aware of this, said to them, "Why are you discussing the fact that you have no bread? Do you not yet perceive or understand? Are your hearts hardened? Having eyes, do you not see? And having ears, do you not hear? And do you not remember when I broke the 5 loaves for the 5,000? Call back.
Brother,
how many baskets full of broken pieces did you take up?" They said to him, 12.
We took about 12.
And the 7 for the 4,000. Boom! That just happened. Woo! How many baskets full of broken pieces did you take up? They said to him, 7.
7.
And he said to them, "Do you not yet understand?" They're probably like, 12.
Yeah.
7.
I'm sorry, Jesus. I keep on doubting you.
It's just like, y'all need to pay attention.
Yes.
And they came to Bethsaida, and some people brought to him a blind man and begged him to touch him. And he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the village. And when he had spit on his eyes and laid his hands on him, he asked him, "Do you see anything?" He looked up and said, "I see people. They look like trees walking." Then Jesus laid his hands on his eyes again, and he opened his eyes. His sight was restored, and he saw everything clearly.
Oh, son.
And he sent him home, saying, "Do not even enter the village."
Don't even enter the village. You know why? Because Jesus is not wanting to make basically him. So Jesus is so humble that he's not wanting everybody to see these miracles just be blatant and people think, oh, he's just doing it for himself. So Jesus is trying to stay humble at this time, but you can't stay humble and then heal somebody. I mean, it's so difficult too, but Jesus does a great way about doing it.
Or it could be too. I just thought of this. So he sends them. He says, "Go straight home." Maybe he wants them to reach their families first.
Oh, yeah.
Or because if he goes to, maybe he passes some Pharisees and they're like, "Oh, Jesus heals by the power of Satan, right?" And he's like, "Are you serious?" He might believe them because they're all high and mighty.
And they've been high and mighty. And
but he's like, "No, go straight home. Tell your family." Because he's going to tell somebody. I've been blind my whole life. I've been deaf. I've been lame or whatever.
Yeah, this is not like...
Just take up your mat and go home.
It's not like somebody just paid for gum and you're like, "Oh, thanks, bro." This is like disability, no more. You're going to let everybody know.
Yeah, most of these are from birth.
Oh, yeah.
I think pretty much all of them.
But he said,
what you pick up in
do not even enter the village.
Said,
go home. Verse 27. And Jesus went on with his disciples to the villages of...
it's either Caesarea or Caesarea.
Philippi. That sounds good. And on the way, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say I am?" He said, "Who do people say I am?
Who do you say he is? Huh? Listen."
And they told him, "John the Baptist. And others say Elijah. What? And others, one of the prophets." But here he comes off again. He said, No.
Not quite.
Do you... My bad.
You people who have been rolling with me, who do you say I am?
Who do you say I am? Exactly. And Peter answered him, "You are the Christ."
Get it, Peter.
And he strictly charged them to tell no one about him. Not for long, brother. And he began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer many things and be rejected by the elders and the chief priests and the scribes and be killed. And after 3 days, rise again.
I like this next part.
And he said this plainly. And
so he straight up is like, "Yo, I'm going to be killed." Or he says the Son of Man.
He says, Son of Man must suffer many things and be rejected by the elders and the chief priests and the scribes be killed.
What does Peter do here?
Bro, we're going to talk about it. And Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him. After all this, he's going to go, "Hey, ice." He said, "No. Man, get behind me, Satan. For you are not setting your mind on the things of God, but on the things of man." Let me repeat that. Verse 33.
Yeah, read that.
But turning and seeing his disciples, he rebuked Peter and said, "Get behind me, Satan, for you're not setting your mind on the things of God, but on the things of man."
So I think a couple things are happening.
Yeah, come on. Hit me with it.
So just reading that over again, I didn't even write this down. So he kind of looks over and sees that the disciples are watching him. So either he's making an example of Peter, or they're all having the same thought of, Jesus, we don't want that to happen to you.
Yeah.
And he's like, you guys have your mind set on the things of man, not on the things of God.
Yeah.
This needs to happen.
They're setting their eyes on the future of, we just want to spend time with you, Jesus, even more. Why would we want you to be gone?
Yeah. They don't realize yet it needs to happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like we would easily do that too. But I kind of feel like, too, Jesus isn't speaking like, he's speaking against Peter's temptation.
Yeah.
Of his man mindset.
He desires that.
To want to keep Jesus from dying.
And I think not really that, but like keep Jesus for himself.
Yeah.
Keep him there with him.
Yeah, that's true too, because obviously he resurrects and all that needs to happen so everybody can believe on Jesus and be saved. But
and Jesus sees it as, I need to do this so I can save everyone, not just Peter.
Yeah. Oh, poop.
Brother?
Sorry, we need to back up. I missed a lot of my notes.
Well, shoot.
Let's go back to the Decapolis.
I
actually looked up what the word meant. So the Decapolis, I said before, because it references it in verse 31 in chapter 7.
Chapter 7, 31.
Then he returned from the region of Tyre and went through Sidon to the Sea of Galilee in the region of the Decapolis. So I went in and looked up what all makes up. So the Decapolis, let's go here.
What is Decapolis?
We talked about this story in Matthew where Jesus tests the faith of this woman. No. Hold on. What was I referencing there?
You're talking about chapter 7. Was it 7? Or 7.
I think I just wrote the wrong thing down.
Verse 31. Then he returned to the sea. Region.
That's my note for the other thing. So the one from Matthew, when he's testing the faith of the woman, is the one he's talking about the dog thing.
Yeah.
Moving on,
brother.
The Decapolis, we talked about this story when Jesus heals the man who's being tortured by Legion. The demon says, "We are Legion, we are many."
Many peoples or demons.
But so he heals that guy, or he casts that demon out of that guy, and the guy's like, "Oh, I want to go with you, Jesus." He's like, "No, I need you to go speak to the people." And it says, I have this written down. Let's just go from here. The Decapolis is made up of 10 cities: Abila, Damascus, Dion, Gerasa, Hippos Pella, Philadelphia, Rifana, and Scythopolis.
Brother, that's all in your notes. That ain't in here, is it?
Yeah, this is my notes.
Brother, you had me go.
You're like, what verse is that?
Where are we at?
Most of the Decapolis region is located in modern-day Jordan. And Jordan is in between Israel and Saudi Arabia and under Syria.
Okay, so these are many cities that are up in there.
Yeah, they're not necessarily called that anymore, but I don't think they are. I tried to look on the map, but the map I was looking at didn't show it. But the word Decapolis comes from the Greek Decapolis.
Decapinated.
It's literally just spelled different with a K instead of a C. Literally meaning the 10-city region. Remember the story of the man who was being tormented by Legion. When Jesus healed him, he said, "Go and speak what happened to the people in Decapolis." So Mark 5:20. He went away and began to proclaim in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, and everyone marveled. So this story's in Mark too.
Yeah.
So it's that same story from Matthew.
So anyways, awesome.
Yeah. I totally skipped over that. A little word study there.
Brother.
So let's go
it's good to get back on it though.
Okay, so back to Jesus calling Peter Satan. I don't think he's literally calling Peter Satan. Something I wrote down too is Jesus is still 100% human. Yes. So there has to have been a temptation for Jesus not to want to die either.
Oh, yeah.
And we see evidence of that in the Garden of Gethsemane before he's arrested.
But he's crying, man.
Yeah.
He's praying.
And he's stressed, and he's like, "Lord, if there's any other way, let this cup be taken from me, but this is not my will, but thy will." That's him putting aside the thought of man and then praying to the Father. So he's not... I looked up the word Satan too. The Greek translation, Satanas, literally meaning the devil or the accuser.
Probably the accuser.
So Jesus is speaking he's talking to Peter, but he's speaking, I think, to Satan. Like, Satan, get out of here.
Yeah. Get your
because we know Jesus,
thoughts out of them. Yeah.
We know that Judas later on is tempted by Satan.
Yes.
It says Satan enters into Judas or something like that.
Yeah, it does say Satan.
But it basically means he's just overcome with that temptation and gives into it. Because we're all tempted.
Yeah.
Jesus was tempted. It doesn't mean he sinned.
Oh,
so giving into that temptation.
Getting a revelation now, brother.
Yeah.
I'm getting to understand.
Well, people are like, oh, temptation. Temptation is not necessarily the bad part. That's the test, I think. It's whether we
act on the temptation.
If you have that thought in your mind, instead of pushing it out, you kind of dwell on it for a minute, and you're like, oh, okay.
When you dwell on it.
You dwell on it. Yeah.
That's where you get in trouble.
So let me see if there's anything else I want to mention. Yeah, there's a human side of Jesus. Yeah. I mean, So he would have been tempted not to go to the cross.
Oh, yeah.
Because the devil knows what that means.
Well, I honestly think the devil...
He knows it's not something good.
Yeah. Well, I saw this TikTok where it was like the devil's like, oh, I'm going to get you, God. I'm going to kill your son.
Yeah.
And the devil's like, I killed your son, God. How are we blacking now? And all of a sudden, God's like,
he's all like,
turn back around. And then...
I win.
Yeah, the devil's all excited. Third day rolls around.
Third day, yeah.
Did y'all hear that ground shake?
He's like, hold up. Who moved the stone?
Who moved the stone?
Where's Jesus? Oh, crap.
What do you mean, Roman soldier?
Have you heard Carmen's The Champion?
No. Am I missing out here?
Oh, yeah. I'll show it to you after
okay.
we're done. Y'all go look up Carmen. He's back in the day, like traveling music evangelist. Brother, I guess you'd call him.
Yeah,
I might be butchering the title, but I think he still does shows to this day.
Oh yeah,
but he's a Christian and he does these just crazy. I've only ever heard like the music part, but I guess he does performances too. Yeah, but he does this song called "The Champion," and it's kind of like it's a portrayal of Jesus dying for the 3 days,
and then coming back.
But it's literally in like it's like in a boxing format. So it's like Jesus. It's a really cool song.
Sounds like it.
I'll go check it out. It's really cool. He does all the like these voices and everything, and all the demons are like, it's really cool. Anyways,
here's the most important verse that a lot of Christians have time struggling with.
Listen up, you Christians.
Bro, verse 34.
Oh, wait, that's me too.
Yeah, I'm on that same page, bro.
I ain't ashamed of it.
And calling the crowd to him with his disciples, he said to them, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. What do you mean, take up my cross? I think we'll get pile sticks. That's not what he means.
Like what we were talking about is denying your human flesh.
Denying your temptations, your
human desire.
Your desires, yeah.
Yeah.
And
because that might seem good.
But it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where the devil's like tries to play into it.
Yeah, he's like, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
You deserve this. That's a dangerous place to be right there.
The deserving part.
Ooh. It's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
You're like, I've been good. I deserve this.
I deserve a little bit.
It's a Friday night. I feel good.
Yeah, I feel good, Lord.
I'm out with my friends.
I've been out. I haven't done this in years.
I'm just trying to show my friends I'm cool, so they come to church with me.
Yeah.
They won't. They won't come to church.
You've lost your conviction.
You've lost it.
Not conviction.
So be careful. You might be telling yourself, like, oh, I'll go out to the bar with my friends. I won't drink anything.
Oh, I won't smoke that.
Yeah.
Brother, you jump into that smoking or just back into that temptation.
Yeah.
And you try to lead your friends
Before you know it, 6 months in, you're in the back of a cop car, you smoke 3 reefers, and you don't even know who you are anymore, brother.
Brother, you don't even know where you are. And the Lord,
that's who you are. Brother.
Yeah, but
that's right.
You need to understand that Lord still loves you. He wants you.
Yes.
But
repent,
brother. Repent. It's repent. But you also got to run after Jesus.
Yeah.
Because
we better wrap it up,
brother. We'll continue on that later now. But yes, repent.
Stepping on them toes
and believe. And like a relationship, talk to that person. Talk to God. All right. For whoever would save his life will lose it. But whoever loves his life for my sake
loses his life.
My bad. Definitely makes sense now. Whoever loses his life for my sake and the gospel's will save it.
Boom. That doesn't just mean dying either. Like, oh,
No.
I die for you, Lord. It's like, well, okay, live out the rest of your life for me.
Yeah.
Which might, I mean, I'm not saying like every Christian's going to die from.
Right. There might be a time where you do have to, choose not living. But most of the time, I think there is one portion of the Bible where it's like, if you are getting persecuted to the point of death, move or something like that, basically saying you can't carry on the mission of the gospel and sharing Christ if you're not alive.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
But much more.
I don't think necessarily God. I mean, if that is what circumstance you're in, and it comes down to
if it comes down to denying your faith
or denying yourself,
100%,
yeah,
you're going to deny yourself.
Yeah, I mean, where did I read this thing? Oh, it's in that book, that Mark Batterson book.
Yeah,
ooh, it's so good. He talks about, I mean, like more than all of the disciples, the 12, the original 12. I mean, Peter goes to be crucified, and he says, "No, crucify me upside down." So at his request, crucify me upside down, which is actually what the upside down cross represents. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
So thanks, atheists, for repping my boy Peter.
Yeah. They don't even know it.
The whole upside down cross thing.
They're like, oh, it's against Jesus. Actually, Peter.
It's so hurtful, brother.
That's the most Christian thing you can do is deny yourself, take up your cross.
Yeah.
This ain't Jesus' cross.
I'm going to start wearing an upside down cross.
Are you?
No, yeah.
Probably tell the older ladies in the church, brother, before you start.
Don't worry about this. I'll explain later. All right. They're like, oh, Lord. No,
bless him. Bless him.
We need an altar call, Pastor. Probably do. Probably. All right, let's move on.
Verse 37. For what can a man give in return for his soul? Verse 38. For whoever is ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation,
boom,
of him will Son of Man be also ashamed when he comes in the glory of his Father with the holy angels.
Boy.
So if you're ashamed of the Lord, he's going to be ashamed of you. I mean, if you deny him, he'll deny you.
Yeah.
But if you take up your cross and accept him and know him, and that time where you're right there, you ain't got no life, but your soul's there, your spirit's there.
Yeah.
Jesus.
What he also says, whoever denies me in front of man, I will deny in front of the Father.
Oh, 100%. So
you try to deny, like, nah, I ain't a Christian because you're in front of your friends, like, oh, playing a dangerous game.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Chapter 9, brother.
Chapter 9, brother. You kick it off.
And he said to them, truly, I say to you, there are some standing here who will not taste death until they see the kingdom of God after it has come with power. And after 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter and James and John, and led them up a high mountain by themselves. He was transfigured before them. Transfigured.
Brother, that means transfigured.
His clothes became radiant, intensely white, as no one on earth could bleach them. So it's brighter than bleach white.
Now,
and there appeared to them Elijah with Moses.
Brighter than my teeth, brother. That's crazy.
Definitely brighter than my teeth. So it appeared to them Elijah with Moses, and they were talking with Jesus. Peter said to Jesus, Rabbi, it is good that we are here. Let us make 3 tents, one for you and one for Moses and one for Elijah.
3.
For he did not know what to say, for they were terrified. And a cloud overshadowed them, and a voice came out of the cloud. This is my beloved son. Listen to him. And suddenly, looking around, they no longer saw anyone with them, but only Jesus, or Jesus only. And as they were coming down the mountain, he charged them to tell no one what they had seen until the Son of Man has risen from the dead. It's like,
you're telling me I gotta keep this quiet?
Crazy to tell you, bro.
Brother, tell me.
Bro,
tell me, brother.
I can't.
What?
Can't.
What do you mean?
Jesus told me not
What can you tell me?
After Jesus dies, he comes back. I don't know.
What?
Yeah.
Really? Trust you?
It's worth the wait.
I'll trust you.
So he's like, y'all don't tell anybody until I've risen from the dead. And they're like, all right, Jesus, we have no idea what that means, but cool.
You know, that probably might be why they wrote it after Jesus' death.
Yeah, because then they understood everything's clicking. They're like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Bring me another book.
That's like,
give me a book.
What is it?
I broke my pencil. Where's my pencil? I'm going to read. So they're all writing stuff down. That's a very terrible portrayal.
I can't remember that word. It's like portraying, maybe? No. When you see, or like in a movie, they give you, they tell you something that's going to happen later on, but you don't really know it's going to happen later on.
Foresee?
Foresee. No.
Like a prophecy?
Not really a prophecy. I think it was a Nemo. Like a Nemo when they're like,
Finding Nemo?
Finding Nemo. Maybe I shouldn't use that as
Brother,
an
you can
example.
draw a spiritual lesson from just about any movie.
Anything, really. Terminator, brother.
What
Lord is coming back.
No. I'll be back. Okay.
We'll continue on.
The original Terminator.
Terminator of your sin, brother.
All right, let's move on.
Yes.
So they kept the matter to themselves, questioning what this rising from the dead might mean.
I would too.
I wrote something here. I don't think the disciples ever considered. I don't think they ever considered that he literally meant rising from the dead.
No, they're like,
what is? Because he's spoken in parables so far. Now they've seen healings and stuff.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we can get behind that. That's cool. You did that. It's a physical thing we can see.
But rising from the dead, nobody's done that.
Nobody can do that.
No, he must be talking about rising, waking up or something.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And they asked him, why do the scribes say that first Elijah must come? And he said to them, Elijah does come first to restore all things. And how is it written of the Son of Man that he should suffer many things and be treated with contempt? But I tell you that Elijah has come, and they did to him whatever they pleased, as it is written of him. And when they came to the disciples, they saw a great crowd around them and scribes arguing with them. And immediately all the crowd, when they saw him, were greatly amazed and ran up to him and greeted him. And he asked them, what are you arguing about with them? And someone from the crowd answered him, Teacher, I brought my son to you, for he has a spirit that makes him mute. Excuse me. And whenever it seizes him, it throws him down, and he foams and grinds his teeth and becomes rigid. So I asked your disciples to cast it out, and they were not able. And he answered them, O faithless generation, how long am I to be with you? How long am I to bear with you? Bring him to me. And they brought the boy to him. When the spirit saw him, immediately it convulsed the boy, and he fell on the ground and rolled about, foaming at the mouth. And Jesus asked his father, how long has this been happening to him? Asked the boy's father. He said, from childhood, and it has often cast him into fire and into water to destroy him. But if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us. And Jesus said to him, if you can.
There's an exclamation mark right there, brother.
Like, if you can, all things are possible for one who believes. Immediately the father of the child cried out and said, I believe, help my unbelief. When Jesus, that's a prayer right there.
That is
help my unbelief.
I believe that, help my unbelief.
I feel like that's different than give me a sign, like, it's like help my unbelief.
That's the totally
because we always have some sort of sign in mind. Help me in this way, Lord. Let a Rolls Royce roll up in my driveway, brother.
Oh yeah,
that would just bless me, Lord. Then I could go about the earth and preach the gospel and the good news.
And the good news.
Yeah, I could go
in my
Lord, bring me a 4x4. I mean, I could go anywhere.
Yeah, I can do.
You gotta put your feet.
But he said
pavement first.
Lord, help my unbelief.
Help my unbelief.
That is,
in any way, whatever that means.
Yeah.
So when Jesus saw that a crowd came running together, he rebuked the unclean spirit, saying to it, you mute and deaf spirit, I command you, come out of him and never enter him again. And after crying out and convulsing him terribly, it came out, and the boy was like a corpse. So most of them said, he is dead. But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose. And when he had entered the house, his disciples asked him privately, why could we not cast it out? He said to them, this kind cannot be driven out by anything but prayer.
Anything but prayer.
Anything but prayer. Pick it up in verse 30.
Brothers, verse 30. They went on from there and passed through Galilee, and he did not want anyone to know.
Galilee.
Galileo. My bad, sorry.
That was from my brother.
Oh, was that from your brother?
Yeah.
Thanks, bro. You're a real one. For he was teaching his disciples, saying to him, the Son of Man is going to be delivered into the hands of men, and they will kill him. The Son of Man is going to be delivered into the hands of man, and there they will kill him.
I just love how plainly it's said. It's just like, Duh. I'm sure. So the point we keep making about the Gospels not being written until later, I'm sure they were like, man, we should have seen this the whole time.
Yeah.
It's kind of a. So Frank Turek is someone I talk about a lot. And one of his things that kind of help solidify that the Bible is the truth is here's these Jewish men who are writing this story, and the fact that there's embarrassing testimonies.
Oh yeah,
this is one of those where it's like, man, Jesus told us the entire time he was going to be killed,
and we just went all willy nilly about ourselves.
They were like, "Oh, what does that mean?"
Yeah, like
if it literally means,
in a hero story that's written about yourself, you don't leave in the crap.
Yeah, you don't write embarrassing stuff about yourself if you're trying to make yourself come out to be a hero.
Yeah.
I mean, the first people at the tomb were women.
Yeah.
And women in this culture anyways they had half the testimony, basically.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty cool. They were the first ones there. Like, that was the greatest news to bring back to the rest of the men. And it was entrusted. I'm not saying like
today's culture is totally different, but that time,
disrespect thing that I'm trying to say, but the fact that it was women, I think God went out of his way to make that. I think so.
Yeah. So for future generations to go, well, that's normal to us today. But if we look back in the past and like we talked about their time, that was huge. Like, you're not supposed to be talking about that.
Yeah.
God only reveals to the men. Bull crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep on trucking through. And when he is killed, after 3 days he will rise. But they did not understand the saying, and were afraid to ask him. I would be too. What do you mean, Jesus? In 3 days you'll be right in prison. Long nap, brother. It wasn't no nap. Verse 33. And they came to Capernaum.
Mm-hmm. That's how I always said it.
Capernaum. And when he was in the house, he asked them, "What are you discussing on this way, or on the way?" What were you discussing on the way? But they kept silent, for on the way they had argued with one another about who was the greatest. Bro, that sounds like me sometimes, and it gets you hurt, man. That's pride speaking.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking the same thing.
Verse 35. And he sat down and he called the 12 and he said to them, "If anyone would be first, he must be last of all and servant of all." And he took a child and put him in the midst of them, and taking him in his arms, he said to them, "Whoever receives one such child in my name receives me, and whoever receives me receives not me, but him who sent me." And if you receive the Son, you receive the Father. That's some powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Verse 38, John said to him, "Teacher, we saw someone casting out demons in your name, and we tried to stop him because he was not following us." Verse 39, but Jesus said, "Do not stop him, for no one who does a mighty work in my name will be able to soon afterward to speak evil of me." We repeat that? We'll repeat that. But Jesus spoke. This is what Jesus said. Do not stop him. We're talking about the guy that's casting demons out. In Jesus' name, for no one who does a mighty work in my name will be able soon afterward to speak evil of me. Verse 40, for the one who is not against us is for us. For truly I say to you, whoever gives you a cup of water to drink because you belong to Christ will by no means lose his reward. So, work for Jesus. Now, verse 42, temptations to sin. Whoever causes one of the little ones who believe in me to sin, it is better for him if a great millstone were hung around his neck and he were thrown into the sea. And if your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. If it is better for you to enter life crippled than with 2 hands to go to hell, to the unquenchable fire. And if your foot causes you to sin, cut it off. It is better for you enter life lame than with 2 feet to be thrown into hell. And if your eye causes you to sin, tear it out. For it is better for you to enter the kingdom of God with 1 eye than with 2 to be thrown into hell. Verse 48.
The worm never dies.
Oh, yeah.
The worm.
The worm. Yes.
Wormy.
Where their worm does not die and fire is not quenched. Verse 49.
I don't know about you, brother, but fire's pretty warm.
Fire's really, I think it's warmer than the outside temperature, and it's 104 out there, brother.
Mm-hmm.
It's hot.
Toasty.
But hell's hotter.
Mm-hmm.
And not in a fashionable sense.
I don't know what's fashionable about hell, but
hot.
It's the culture we live in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I don't want to get
so much when people are like, they're laughing about something, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to hell for this."
Yeah.
I'm like, about hell? Like, you need to open your Bible, brother.
They're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna enjoy hell with my friends."
Yeah, I'll see you in hell. Like, okay.
I don't know about that, brother.
God's not going to force you into heaven. So.
No.
Anyways, brother,
we can talk about that portion now. For everyone will be salted with fire. Salt is good, but if the salt has lost its saltiness, how will you make it salty again? Have salt in yourselves and be at peace with one another. Brother, I think we're going to stop right there.
Peace, man.
Don't be hating on each other.
Golly.
Bro, stop building that wall.
Be at peace.
We did talk about that in Bible study a little bit.
Be salty. Be Jesus.
Yes. Well, don't push people away from Jesus. Be salty for Jesus.
What?
Love each other.
The gospel be salty. So salt is a preservative,
right?
To preserve the word. But salt also makes that steak tasty. Like
it does. It does.
Boom! I told you when you came in earlier, I was eating salty bacon.
Yeah, you were right, bro. Right there. Get the flavor
that
from
bacon
the word.
Was salty. Probably couldn't eat too much of
but it was good. And you know what else is salted like bacon? Beef jerky.
Bro, I have some beef jerky.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's some of the best,
brother. Some of the best, you said. Some of the best preservatives are right here in this word. Be at peace. Now be at peace. That's right.
Yo, thank you guys so much
for
tuning into the Grapevine. We
try
to just have a blast here. I have a blast doing this.
I enjoy it. Coming out here, hanging out with Alex.
Wesley has become a good friend of mine. Like,
yeah,
I still think it's crazy. We know each other like 6 months or something.
It's probably less than that because it's like off and on.
Yeah,
because I'll be up here for 2 months,
and
then
he leaves,
and then I'll leave. I'm out,
and I'm deprived,
and then I come back
sad, and then he comes back, and I'm like, wow!
It is 6 months.
Go all crazy again.
Yeah,
about 6 months.
About 6 months.
I got a pretty good
Yeah. We got
test of time or whatever.
Yeah.
Judgment of time.
Judgment of time. You got a pretty good one, brother. Just want to let you know.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, we've come to know each other and just enjoy doing the podcast and being each other's presence.
Yeah.
And that's all about Christianity too. Being around Christians who are faithful to the word and just building each other up.
Yeah.
So
speaking of my brother, I wanted to.
Yeah, you got him.
I've been talking with him about. So I have a twin brother, and
looks just like him.
It's weird. It could be him.
I looked at your Facebook the other day.
I could be Noah.
And I was like, man, he must have photoshopped himself in the same photo.
You'll notice differences whenever we're together.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I want to have him on pretty soon. I've been talking about it. I don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but.
We might need to come up with a little.
Noah's so us being twins, obviously we're the same age, but he's got these grandfatherly wisdom sometimes. Where do you get this stuff?
Yeah.
It's because he's in the word, brother. He's in the word. Ow, my hands are starting to hurt. I need to be at peace and rest my hands for a little bit. I need to go wash my hands.
Be at peace. Brother. Take a nap or something.
Take a nap at 8 o'clock.
Oh, that's called sleep.
Just be going to bed, brother. All right. Thank you guys so much. We just try to keep it fun and popping.
Yeah.
I mean, the word is fun.
It is very fun. Yeah.
So,
and it's awesome to read it with you guys. So
yeah.
We enjoy you, and we enjoy this word more. And we hope you guys enjoy us talking about the word. So
help us share these videos, post them wherever.
Yeah, post on Facebook.
Put them on your Facebook.
But where are we posting this to again, Alex?
I've been putting them on Facebook. YouTube.
Mainly YouTube. I've
It
noticed.
was Spotify, but I'm having difficulties with that, so I've just kind of given up on it for now. So
Yeah,
I'll just have to deal with our ugly faces on YouTube.
but it's okay.
But you don't have to have your phone screen open. That's what I do. I listen to stuff on YouTube. Let's keep the phone screen closed.
You ain't even got to get that YouTube Premium. They're always advertising every time I
Oh yeah, I have premium.
swap down. It's like,
You gotta have premium.
get YouTube Premium. And I'm like,
It's
I got
so annoying.
Spotify
I hate the
Premium.
ads.
Oh yeah.
Spotify is kind of, I guess, trade off.
Yeah.
But excuse me.
But thank you guys so much for watching The Grapevine, brother.
Woo!
Y'all have a good one. See you on the next episode of The Grapevine. Yeah.